Las Vegas Raiders breaking news. Raider Nation, it's time to get fired up. This is your latest update on what could be one of the biggest moves in the 2025 NFL Draft. Today, we're diving into the top 10 players who the Raiders might pick at number 6 overall. These are players that head coach Pete Carroll and general manager John Spytek could be eyeing, and we're counting them down from least likely to most likely. So, stay tuned, because the number 1 name on this list might just be the next star in silver and black. But before we jump to number 10, before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. All right, Raider Nation. Coming in at number 10 is a surprising name. Tyler Warren, the powerful tight end from Penn State. Now, picking a tight end this early might shock some fans. But if the Raiders go for the best player available, not by need, but by pure talent, then Tyler Warren is a real possibility. He's big, strong, athletic, and has that no-quit attitude we love to see. Some NFL experts even rank him among the top 6 prospects overall. Warren brings a tough competitive edge, kind of like a tight end version of Max Crosby. He blocks well, runs the routes like a wide receiver, and never backs down. Imagine pairing him with Brock Bowers. That would give the Raiders the most dangerous tight end duo in the NFL. Some reports suggest the Raiders are looking for a big, physical wide receiver. But what if they just go bold? Keep Michael Mayer as TE2, make Warren the every-down tight end, and line up Bowers out wide like a receiver. That's a scary, creative offense right there. The kind Pete Carroll loves. Now, let's move to number 9. Cornerback John A. Barron. Barron is a real weapon on defense. A Swiss Army knife who can do a little bit of everything. He can stop the run, defend the pass, and blitz when needed. That's exactly the kind of player defensive coordinator Patrick Graham loves, and Carroll too, since he's always liked smart, versatile DBs. The Raiders don't really have a true nickel corner right now. Think of Barron as a better version of Nate Hobbs, faster, stronger, and more complete. He even met with the Raiders at the NFL Combine, which shows a serious interest. Oh, and when he played against Ohio State, a team loaded with wide receiver talent, not a single receiver got more than 75 yards. That says a lot. Back to that Ohio State versus Texas game. The Buckeyes' offense couldn't get much going, and a big reason was Jaylen Barron. He had a strong performance and showed he can handle high-pressure matchups. That tape alone is worth another look from the Raiders. Now, let's move to number 8 on the list. And this might raise some eyebrows. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's be real. Most wouldn't take Shedeur at the 6th pick, but there's still a reason his name is floating around in the mix. The Raiders want to win now, and Shedeur brings accuracy, confidence, and leadership. He's not afraid of pressure, and that's key for any quarterback stepping into the bright lights of Vegas. Some critics say he's too cocky, but confidence isn't a crime. In fact, it might be what sets him apart. He's shown steady improvement, and mentally, he seems ready for the challenge. His connection with legends like Tom Brady and influence from his father Deion Sanders adds to the intrigue. Could Deion push for his son to land in Las Vegas? Maybe, especially with Tom Brady already involved in the Raiders organization. It's a long shot, but not an impossible one. All right, now we enter the top 7, and here's where things get serious. These next names? They're the ones that make the most sense if the Raiders stay at pick number 6. Coming in at number 7. Wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan from Arizona. This guy is a mismatch nightmare. He's tall, long, and has the kind of body control that makes 50-50 balls feel like 80-20 in his favor. He stretches the field, makes plays down the sideline, and moves like a much smaller player despite his size. Think Drake London or Mike Evans. Strong, fluid, and dependable. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. McMillan already met with the Raiders at the Combine. Not only that, but he said he has a strong connection with the team and spoke confidently about it. Even better, The Raiders' offensive line coach Carroll used to coach him at Arizona. That kind of connection matters. Is wide receiver a need? Maybe not the biggest. But a player like McMillan, with talent and chemistry already in place, could be too good to pass up. One more thing to appreciate about Tetairoa McMillan, he could have taken the easy way out. With the transfer portal wide open, he could have jumped to a bigger program. But he stayed loyal to Arizona, sticking with his teammates and honoring a commitment they made to each other. That loyalty speaks volumes about his character. Now, let's slide into number 6 on the list, a name that could seriously strengthen the Raiders' offensive line for years to come. Armand Mbembe, offensive tackle from Missouri. This guy has all the tools. He's been holding down the right tackle spot for 3 straight seasons, which means the Raiders wouldn't need to move Kolton Miller around. That stability? Huge. But here's what makes Mbembe stand out. His ceiling is sky high. There's no lineman in this draft with a better combination of size, speed, and power. He dominates in the trenches, and he does it with a nasty streak. He's the kind of guy who wants to humiliate defenders. Raider fans, you know we love that kind of edge. Why could this pick happen? Well, GM Tom Telesco and the front office haven't fully committed to any single O-line solution yet. There's still a gap at tackle, and Mbembe fills it perfectly. He's got the size, speed, and quick feet that remind scouts of Trent Williams or Tristan Wirfs, top-tier linemen who anchor offenses. If the Raiders want to win at the line of scrimmage, the way Pete Carroll loves to play, then Mbembe could be a perfect fit. He's physical, durable, and a long-term investment that would protect the quarterback and open running lanes for years to come. And with pick number 6, locking in a dominant offensive lineman might just be the smartest move Vegas could make. All right, Raider Nation, it's time to dive into the top 5 potential draft picks that could wear the silver and black in 2025. And trust me, these names bring heat. Number 5 on the board, Jaylen Walker, edge rusher and outside linebacker out of Georgia. Now, here's a guy whose stock has quietly, but powerfully, risen in draft circles. He's long, explosive, and absolutely disruptive. Walker played outside linebacker at Georgia, but he's also shown flashes as an edge threat, the kind of hybrid talent that modern defenses crave. What really makes Walker stand out is his versatility. He's got the frame to rush the passer, but also the athleticism to cover tight ends. That's the kind of dual-threat defender the Raiders could desperately use. Someone who combines Malcolm Koonce's pass rush energy with better coverage skills and higher upside. Why could he be the pick? Simple. The Raiders brought him in for a top 30 visit and were present at his pro day. That's not just a coincidence. Insiders like Lance Zierlein and Bruce Feldman have even mocked Walker to Vegas in recent drafts based on buzz from league sources. Plus, this guy was a true leader at Georgia, respected, vocal, and all about the game. If the Raiders want to build a winning culture on defense, the kind of culture that mirrors what Brock Bowers brings on offense, Jaylen Walker could be a cornerstone piece. Now to number 4, Will Campbell, offensive lineman from LSU. This one was close between Campbell and Walker. But when it comes to pure team need, offensive line slightly edges it out. The Raiders need help in the trenches, period. Campbell has the toughness and flexibility that makes him a serious asset. Whether he's starting at tackle or sliding inside to guard, the guy brings strength, awareness, and a nasty streak that fans in Vegas would love. The Raiders already have Kolton Miller locked in, but imagine pairing him with Campbell and JPJ on the left side. That's a brick wall of blindside protection for whoever lines up under center. Geno Smith, rookie QB, whoever, they'll be well protected. Why is he on the radar? Again, the Raiders did their homework. They held a top 30 visit with him and also met him at the NFL Combine. And let's not forget, Raiders execs like Tom Telesco and John Spytek have made it clear they prioritize offensive line. They believe in building from the inside out. Campbell isn't just a safe pick, he's a smart pick. The Raiders' draft options are heating up, and we've reached the top 3 potential picks. Buckle up. Number 3. Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. Now, here's a name that's recently been climbing up the draft boards, and for good reason. If the Raiders are looking for a defensive tackle that'll elevate the entire defensive front, Mason Graham is your guy. This guy doesn't just stuff the run, he's got a rare ability to shed blocks and disrupt plays in the backfield. Graham's first step off the line is explosive, and his ability to handle double teams is impressive for a player his size. What makes him such a perfect fit for the Raiders? For one, he has a wrestling background that translates into some serious power and hand-fighting skills, a trait the Raiders could use in the trenches. Plus, the Raiders showed real interest, having a top 30 visit and meeting with him at the NFL Combine. On top of that, Graham's Michigan ties could be another subtle factor. With a defense looking to build on the leadership of Max Crosby and the support of Rob Leonard, adding someone like Graham could take the defensive line to an elite level. This would solidify the trenches in a way that few players can. If the Raiders are looking to go big and make their defensive line a force to be reckoned with, Graham could be their man at number 6. Number 2. Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. The smoke around Will Johnson to the Raiders is growing, and it's not just any smoke. This guy is big, athletic, and incredibly skilled. He has the physical tools to match up against any wide receiver in the NFL. His size and length make him a tough matchup, and his ability to read and react to plays is uncanny. While his recovery speed might be a slight concern, Johnson more than makes up for it with his ability to keep receivers in front of him and anticipate plays. In terms of pure consistency over the last 3 years, Johnson has arguably been the best cornerback in college football. Why might this pick happen? The Raiders have shown significant interest in him, with a top 30 visit and a formal meeting at the NFL Combine. If the Raiders are serious about locking down their secondary, Johnson could be the answer, especially if they see him as a long-term anchor at cornerback. As we approach the final pick, there's one name that stands out above the rest for the Raiders at pick number 6, Ashton Genty, running back from Boise State. If you're imagining the perfect running back for the Raiders, Genty fits the bill perfectly. He's a player who can do it all, whether it's rushing, catching passes, or making plays in critical moments. Genty is a home run hitter who can break a game wide open, but don't mistake his explosiveness for a lack of versatility. This guy can be a consistent performer even when the offensive line isn't perfect. The best part? He's nearly bust-proof because of how skilled he is in all aspects of the game. The Raiders have been seriously interested in Genty. They had a top 30 visit with him and met at his pro day. What's more telling is that John Spytek, the Raiders' running back coach, and Damakula had dinner with Genty's Boise State head coach after his pro day. No other team took such a hands-on approach, showing just how serious the Raiders are about adding him to their roster. Plus, with Brennan Carroll, Pete Carroll's son, handling the Raiders' running game, Genty fits perfectly into what the team needs. Although he has some areas to refine, Genty's overall skill set makes him a top player for the Raiders to select at number 6. He's not just the best player available. He's the player who could help the Raiders immediately and in the long run.